Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport Update here from Philadelphia International Airport, where temperatures have dropped quite dramatically in the last few days. It is getting colder, and we are of course entering into that special time of the year, the Christmas and holiday season. Passenger numbers are picking up a little bit due to that, but it's still honestly quite catastrophic. It's nothing compared to last season. However, there is, of course, also some special traffic today, and that is because a snow front is coming in from the north, which has already impacted some airports north of Philadelphia. For example, the greater New York area has been hit quite hard. So within the next 10 to 20 minutes, snow shower are also expected to hit Philadelphia, and the ground crews are working really hard to get aircraft over the ground before that happens. And so we start our tour around the airport over at Terminal A, where we have this Airbus A320-1200 of JetBlue that came in earlier this afternoon from San Juan and now has about 20 minutes left until it is scheduled to go out for Fort Myers. So boarding should be starting fairly soon, and the last luggage is being loaded as well at the moment. So hopefully this aircraft can go out on time. Next to the JetBlue, we then have a 737-800 of United Airlines that came in from Chicago. The aircraft is now just about ready to go for its next flight, which is scheduled to go to Houston. The aircraft is right now just waiting for the pushback clearance from the tower. As soon as that has arrived, the aircraft will be pushed out of the ramp and will be on its way. And over at the Terminal A extension, we find this Bombardier CRJ-900 of Delta Airlines that still has 10 minutes to go until its scheduled pushback. The aircraft came in from Minneapolis and is now getting ready for its next flight going out to Detroit. And as soon as boarding has finished, the aircraft will be heading out there. And next to the Delta, we then have this ERJ-190 of JetBlue. Also here we are quite far in the turnaround preparations. Boarding is just about to start in this case. The aircraft is today flying between Philadelphia and Boston. Over at the Bongo Inn, things have calmed down quite a bit. There was rumors that the hotel would be closing over the holidays, but it looks like they will keep open. Although they have been getting into a little bit of trouble with authorities, it looks like there is a construction fault in the building. Apparently the building has no chimney, which of course is a problem for Santa Claus. So the airport hotel might get fined here if they can't find another access point for Santa Claus. Meanwhile, over at Terminal B, our American Airlines and Oneworld terminal, we find this Bombardier CRJ-900 of American Eagle. This aircraft has a quite lengthy turnaround here today at the airport grounds. It came in from Cleveland and is only scheduled to go out to Providence at 5 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. Next up, we have this Boeing 737-800 of American Airlines that is slowly picking up its preparations for its next flight, which is supposed to leave at 3 minutes to 4 in the afternoon, going to Dallas. The aircraft came in earlier in the afternoon, around 25 minutes past 1 from Fort Lauderdale. And then next to the American 737-800, we have a 737-800 of Alaska Airlines. This aircraft is, as usual, flying between Philadelphia and Seattle. The aircraft came in just about 13 minutes ago, so right now is still being offloaded. As soon as that is done, the aircraft will actually have quite a lengthy break here at the airport grounds, as its return flight to Seattle isn't scheduled before 1 minute past 5 in the afternoon. And then we have the CRJ-900 of American Eagle that looks like it's done for today. The aircraft came in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon from Daytona and is now being pulled out of service going into the tactical reserve. Despite traffic numbers going up a little bit due to the Christmas season, the passenger numbers are of course still way lower than normally, so the aircraft is just not needed for the rest of the day. Over at the international side of Terminal B, we find this Boeing 777-300ER of American Airlines that just about 10 minutes ago pulled into the ramp from a flight coming in from Amsterdam. So ground crews have sprung into action to start the turnaround of this aircraft, offloading the aircraft before they then start loading it again for its next flight, which will bring the aircraft to Rome in Italy. And while it is an unusual sight to see a single-aisle aircraft over at this side of the airport, it does happen every now and then, and today is one of these days where a domestic flight is being handled over here. And the aircraft in question is an Airbus A321neo of American Airlines that has come in from Charlotte. The aircraft is still being offloaded, and once that is done, preparations for its next flight going to MIA, Miami International Airport, will be starting off. And then we have a diversion. The 787-8 of Azerbaijan Airlines was supposed to go into New York JFK, but as that airport was hit by heavy snow showers, the crew decided to divert and ended up here in Philadelphia. Right now, the crew is keeping the passengers on board because they actually would like to return to New York and then have the passengers clear customs there. So to keep that option open, the aircraft is actually currently being refueled despite having passengers on board. So that is happening under the supervision of the fire department of the airport that is keeping a close eye on that. However, it is getting more and more unlikely that they will be able to leave, as the snow showers still haven't cleared the New York airspace and are moving towards Philadelphia. So unless the aircraft can leave within the next 10 to 20 minutes and the situation in New York has cleared up as well, the aircraft will probably have to stay here in Philadelphia and clear the passengers through customs here at PHL. Then we have a rather unusual sighting here at the airport. Emirates has sent one of their Airbus A380s over to Philadelphia. Now, the airline is of course operating to Philadelphia and has also in the past done so with the A380, but in the current times it is of course a rather large aircraft to be flying with. Nonetheless, they have made the long trip over from Dubai and are currently right in the middle of their turnaround. The aircraft is scheduled to go back to Dubai at 5:30 in the afternoon. And then we have this Airbus A350-900 of Lufthansa that has more or less just arrived from Munich. The ground crews are just about to bring the equipment around the aircraft so they can start offloading the aircraft. That is scheduled to go back to Munich in Germany at 7:10 in the evening. And an aircraft arriving just now is this Airbus A330-300 of Swiss International Airlines that has just come in from Europe, or more specifically from Zurich. The aircraft will of course, after its turnaround, be returning back to Zurich in Switzerland at 7:21 in the evening. And now let's quickly head over to our remote stands to see what's going on over there. Over here we find a fair bit of activity around this Boeing 777-200F of Air France Cargo. The aircraft has arrived around 30 minutes ago from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Right now the aircraft is still being offloaded. Then later this evening at 10:10, the aircraft will be heading back to Europe and to Paris. And as we saw earlier, despite the holiday rush, some aircraft are just surplus at the moment. This is also the case for these two Airbus A319 of American Airlines that have been going back into temporary storage here at the remote stands at Philadelphia. They will remain here over the holidays and probably into the next year. And then our last arrival of the day, and indeed the year, is this Boeing C-17A Globemaster of the US Air Force that has just arrived from Hickam Air Force Base on Hawaii. Where, however, the aircraft will be going to next is not known. And with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.
You and me, can you hear the sleigh bells? It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. Way up north, they're making toys for every little girl and boy who mailed in letters, 'cause they've been better, so much better than the year before. Santa's crossing off every wish, even moms and dads have made the list. Can you hear the sleigh bells? It's Christmas time. The sound of sleigh bells on reindeer only come this time of year. With Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen, run, run, Rudolph, all you will be missed when Santa Claus gets his paws on his red sleigh. When his elves hear the shouts, he'll go flying on his merry way. He's spreading joy all along the route, all around the world in one night. Can you hear the sleigh bells? It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time.
Let's see. What would you like for Christmas?
The sound of sleigh bells